Welcome back, everyone, to GameZone Birdroom.
GameZone.
And of course, it's not the GameZone Birdroom without all the birds. What have I got for you today, guys? Well, it's a bit of a VR response to Martin over at the Asian Gamer. He did a Sega Saturn collection video yesterday, which was asked by Roast Beef 3000. I think I've got that channel right. I will leave both channel link in the description below, so go check them out. And any other channel I might mention, I'll try and get through these. There's a hell of a lot of games to get through here, so I'm not really going to give you much of a description. I showed a lot of these gameplay footage anyway, so go and check them out. First up, we've got Pyro 2 for the Saturn. It's basically a puzzle game. Not really into puzzle games, but it's all right. Next up, we have my favourite football game, or one of my favourite football games on the Saturn. This is really very arcadey, really good, and that's J-League No Striker. Fantastic game, really good. Highly recommend it. SAP Snowboarding Tricks. It's right, graphically it's very nice. Bit of a sort of, this version was a bit of a sort of demo. The sequel, which is 98, is a bit more fleshed out, you know, but it's alright. Hang on GP 95, 96 if you're in the power regions. It's Hang On, it's a great game. It's in 3D. Probably not as good as the original, but worth having. Initial D I gave the repo to Martin. Yeah, I got this from Danestar. As said, any names I mention, I will leave in the link. It's a great racer. If you once you learn the controls and that, it's really good. Draw distance is pretty bad, but draw distance is really bad on the game. But you know, once you get to know the tracks and that, it's a good game. This is Wangan Dead Heat plus Real Arrange. This is the 2-disc version. This was released after the original that came out. They made it a bit easier because it was very hard to overtake the other drivers, so they sort of made it a bit easier. Not a bad game, not nowhere near the best racer on the Saturn. But yeah, this is the double disc with the I think it's got like some more videos of cars and the women in it. In the Hunt, this is such a great shoot 'em up, really frantic game, made by a lot of the same developers as Metal Slug. Very, you can tell they're from the same developers and that. Yeah, great game. Quite a lot of slowdowns on the Saturn version, but if you can get past that, you'll have a hell of a lot of fun with it. One of my favourite shooters on the Saturn, Layer Sections. This is such a great game, really fast. Bloody hard as well, but yeah, joy to play. This is a repo by my good friend James at Import Retro Import Gamer. Check out his channel. As I said, all links to these channels will be in the description below. But yeah, Capcom Generation 1, some classic shoot 'em ups on here. 1942, 1943, great game. Then we have Metal Black. This is quite a pricey game now. Managed to get this for a good price. Yeah, great shooter. Not the best on the Saturn, but yeah, it's got some nice little effects in it. I'm sure Rollercore said this was originally going to be a sequel to Darius, so, but they just mixed it up a bit and just changed it around and named it Metal Black. Yeah, this is Don Dupachi, another great shoot 'em up on the Saturn. I haven't got the original. We'll try and hunt that down, but yeah, quite an expensive game. I've got this for a good price, but yeah, another great shooter. This is probably my second favourite shooter. shoot 'em up, and that's Striker 1945. Really, really great game. Really, really good. Graphically very nice as well. Very pleasing on the eyes. Great fighter. We've got Vampire Hunter. Really, really good. Sequel's a lot better though. And talking about the sequel, here it is. Vampire Savior. Loads of sort of universal horror characters, like you got your Frankenstein, your Wolfman. Yeah, very fun fighting game. Next up, we've got Saturn Bomberman. Probably the best version of Bomberman you could ever own, especially if you've got 10 friends. I haven't got that many friends, so I can't play the 10-player mode. But if you've got 10 friends, so much fun and frantic. So frantic and that. But yeah, brilliant game. Real Bout, great fighter. Sequel was better though, Real Bout Special. But yeah, love the SNK games. Oh, one of the best fighters on the Sega Saturn. X-Men versus Street Fighter. What a game. Graphically beautiful, almost arcade perfect. Just, you can't say much more than that. These games are just amazing. And then, probably personally, my favourite fighting game on the Saturn is its sequel, Marvel Superheroes vs Street Fighter. Just an amazing game. Just, oh, brilliant. Absolutely brilliant. So glad to pick this up. Got this for a good price. Just, is it just before Christmas, I think, last year? And that Street Fighter collection. Just brilliant. Super Street Fighter Turbo, and I think it's Street Fighter Alpha 2 Gold, I believe the second disc is. Speaking of Street Fighter Alpha 2, what is this? No, it's just Street Fighter Zero. Sort of went back a bit on the Super games, you know, only 8 characters, and it's still a good fighter, but not one of the best Street Fighters. Now this one, Street Fighter Alpha 2, is, or is it 02? Street Fighter Alpha, if you're in the PAL or Japanese, it's 0. But yeah, this is such a great fight. Good roster of characters. Brilliant game. Final Fight 3. Is it Road to the Final Victory? Great fighting game. Yeah, little low on characters, but yeah, very decent game. Now this is a game that Sega didn't want the original Virtual Fighter Team 2 to release, because Virtual Fighter 2 is literally round the corner, so they went and made their own studio and released Anarchy in the Pond. Great fighter in Saturn High Res mode. Characters are weird and wonderful. One looks a bit like Maggie Thatcher. Another one looks a bit like a bank officer. Yeah, fun game. Good fighter. Probably one of the best, if not the best looking games on Saturn, and that's Dead or Alive. It's such a beautiful game. Molly's being a pest. Yeah, great fighter. Beautiful game. And bouncing boobies. What more to like, you know? Another great fighter, maybe underappreciated fighter, and this is K1 Fighting Illusions. Yeah, really good. I was really impressed with this. Sort of an early UFC game. But yeah, enjoyed that. Then we have I can't actually remember what the actual, is it All Pro Wrestling, I think it's called, featuring virtual fighter characters Wolf and Jeffrey. Yeah, great wrestling game. Very sort of a simulation wrestling game. I think Giant Baba's in this as well. He's sort of the equivalent to Andre in Japan. Molly, shush. Pest. Yeah. Next up, we have Fire Prone Wrestling. Is this Blazing Tornadoes? I couldn't get into these games. Graphically, very nice 2D wrestling games, but I don't know. I've just never been able to get used to the controls. which is a shame. And this one is even more so because there's even more characters in this one. There's just packed with loads of different wrestling modes, like battle modes and rumbles and death matches and loads of exploding ring matches and all them sort of stuff. But yeah, I've just never been able to get into them really. It looks nice on the shelves anyway. Outlaw of the Lost Dynasty. Fantastic fighting game. Really, really good. Really like this one. Bit of a SNK type, you know, with the zoom out, zoom in, zoom out function. Yeah, loads of great characters in this as well. My favourite is the character with the nunchuck. Couldn't tell you the names, but yeah, great fighting game. World of Heroes. World Heroes Perfect. Another SNK fighter. Not their best. Not bad, but yeah, not their best. I do love the Bruce Lee character in this. He's my go-to character. Now this is a fantastic SNK fighter. King of Fighters 95 with the ROM cart, which holds a lot of your assets like character sprites and some of the backgrounds to make the loads like fast on the Saturn. This was the only, I think this was the only ROM cart. It might be in a ROM cart for, is it Pepsi Man or whatever it's called? Can't quite remember. But yeah, this is a great fighting game. It looks great too. Another one, a great update, King of Fighters 96. Quite possibly one of the best fighting games, just due to the fact of the weird and wonderful characters like the Daytona car you can have, and that's Fighters Mega Mix. Great mesh up of fighting games with the Virtual Fighter and the Fighting Vipers. Brilliant game. If it's not Molly being a pest, it's now Dexter being a pest. Come here. Come here. No, stop it. Talking about Fighting Vipers, here it is. Fighting Vipers, another great fighting game. A lot more arcadey than Virtual Fighter series. It's a shame that Sega don't revisit this, because I enjoyed 1 and 2. Probably one of Martin's favourite games actually, and that's Virtual on the original game, but a reproduction cover. But I've got the original on the PAL release, which I'll go through the PAL games in a bit. But yeah, Virtual on, great game. A lot easier if you got your twin sticks, but yeah, if you haven't, just button bash like I do, and you get quite far on the game. A lot of fun. Disappointed with this game in the beginning when I saw a Formula 1 on my brother's PlayStation. So I bought this game thinking it was going to be very similar. It's not. But once you get past that, it's a proper Sega arcade game. The closest you get to IndyCar racing on the arcades, very similar to that, but obviously Formula 1. Few real Formula 1 drivers. You've got Schumacher, Hill, John Lacey, a couple of the other guys on there as well. But yeah, it's a great arcade Formula 1 game. One of the greatest Saturn games ever. Graphically, probably not the best. Was an early release. They did rush it. I think the production time was only like 5 months. But yeah, Daytona, USA. Just, well, what can you say? Just one of the greatest arcade racing games of all time. Sega Rally's better, but Daytona, just so much fun. Biohazard, Resident Evil, fantastic game. Very playable. The Japanese version, just some of the puzzles and that are in Japanese, but all the talking and that is in English, so you can get away with playing the Japanese version, and it's uncut as well. I forgot how many Japanese games I've got. This could be a very long video. Fighters Mega Mix. No, not Fighters Mega Mix. Virtual Fighter Remix. This was an apology from Sega, basically. That they gave a lot of these free to people that bought the original or had it packed in with the when Saturn first released on launch. But yeah, this is a great updated version. I believe it is in Sega Saturn's high-res mode, and yeah, it's, well, I prefer it to the original. I like the updated characters looks, brings it more in line with Virtual Fighter 2. Another great fighting game, very similar to actual Virtual Fighter series. They nicked a lot of the move sets, and that's Zero Divide, the Final Conflict. Beautiful game in Saturn's high-res mode. Some nice backgrounds as well. Great fighting game. Highly recommend that. Still, you can pick that up still fairly cheap, around about £35–40. Oh, now this is quite a big hitter, quite an expensive game, and that's Power Drift. Oh, super scalers look so good on the Saturn. Saturn was designed for super scalers. They should have released a lot more of them, really, I think. Phil. Molly, shush. But yeah, Power Drift, fantastic racer. Another super scaler, although this one is they used a lot more sort of actual 3D effects, and that's Gal Racer. Great game. Sonic's very first appearance in the arcade, and yeah, just before he's got his own game. King the Spirit, great mountain racing game. Really like this. 2 is beautiful. There's number 2. 2 is beautiful, but a bit harder to control, so I'll probably prefer the first game, but 2 looks better. 2 is one of the best looking races on the Saturn. Another great racer, part of the what's it called? I don't know how to pronounce this. So Battle 97. It's like the Tokyo Highway games on the Dreamcast. And I believe this was like the original, like the prequel that started life on the Saturn. Drift King, Battle 97. I think that's basically what the Japanese writing says. Do apologise if I butcher these, but yeah, great racer. Graphically quite nice as well. Oh, back to a few of the shooters. Darius Gaiden, one of my favourite shooters on the Saturn. This was such a great looking game. Really nice graphical effects as well. The Saturn was designed for these type of games. This one of the cheapest shoot 'em ups you can get. I got this 15 quid from James sent me the link. James from Retro Import Gaming, he sent me the link and said this is a cheap game, you should try and get this, and I won it for like 15 quid, and that's Super Dimension Fortress Macross. Yeah, quite a difficult shooter to play, I feel. It just doesn't seem right, you know, like the other horizontal shooters play, but it's alright. King of Fighters 5, King of Fighters 97, probably my favourite out of 3. I've really enjoyed some of the updates that they done on this game. Real great looking as well. Saturn did such a great job of the SNK games. Speaking of SNK, probably my favourite SNK game of all time, Metal Slug. This is just such a great fun shoot 'em up. It is just bonkers as well. If you get a Saturn, if you can track it down cheap enough, which I managed to get this very cheap, yeah, get it. It's brilliant. Emulate it if you can. Just got to be played. Oh, 2 fantastic shooting them up. Panzer Dragoon 1 and 2. Great Saturn games. Just beautiful games as well. What more can you say? I've only got reproduction of Saga. That's just too much. Next up, we have a game loosely based on the Afterburner series, and that's Sky Target. I really love this game. It gets a bit of a bad rap, but I really enjoy it. It's a bit more sort of button bashing than the Afterburner series, but I like it. Graphically, it's not great. It's not as good as the arcade version, but enjoyable nonetheless. One of the greatest light gun games ever made. House of the Dead, just so brilliant. Graphically, it's a very poor version. It's a shame that Sega didn't do this in house, because it would have looked absolutely superb like the Virtual Cop games. But they did lease it to someone else to do it, and graphically they didn't do a great job, but it plays just like the arcade, and that's the important thing, is it plays great, which it does. The Japanese version, because it's cheaper, of Deep Fear, this is such a great Resident Evil type knockoff. It's a bit of a sort of a fuck you from Sega when obviously weren't going to release Resident Evil 2, which is fair play to Capcom. Saturn was a dying console. You know, it would have been too much effort to make Resident Evil 2 for the Saturn. But yeah, so Deep Fear was released. Never got an American release. It was only released in Asia and Europe. But yeah, fantastic game. I love the fact that you're on a submarine, sort of 160 foot underwater. Just makes the atmosphere so much sort of dangerous, and that, like, just the atmosphere is brilliant on the game, knowing you're so claustrophobic, and you know you can't escape from the diabolical monsters on the submarine with you. Great game. Twin B, great shooter. This is the deluxe pack with 1 and 2, I think, on it. Great shooting. Very colourful, very fun, but very hard. Another game, I think this was the one that started off the colourful shoot 'em ups, and that's Sega Zone Fantasy Zone. Brilliant game. I love this series. Such a fun shoot 'em up. Again, another tough game. They look cute, but they're definitely not innocent. Gunbird, great shoot 'em up. Another very great game. Yeah, very great shoot 'em up. Love the fact that, you know, it always feels different. You know, you're never on the same stage every time you play it. It's always a different stage, which I like that fact. Yeah, good game. Classic Space Invaders. What more can you say? This is just one of the greatest games of all time. You know, it's brilliant. I love the fact that they also got the Spectrum type game with the multi-coloured protection sort of bits that you can hide under. Yeah, it's Space Invaders. It's pretty cheap as well. Another very cheap shoot 'em up to buy for the Saturn. And what is this? This is Parodius, the deluxe pack with 1 and 2 on it. Again, another very colourful games. Really hard. But yeah, brilliant. Oh yeah, these I mean them three. What is it? Twin B, Fantasy Zone. This one, they're just so colourful shoot 'em ups, but they're so bloody hard. Galaxy Fight, not a great fighting game on the Saturn. This is one of the. It's not the worst, but yeah, it's sort of a mid-range one. Not that great. Now this is one of their best fighting games. This is Capcom's Cyberbots. This is pretty huge fighting characters, just beating the crap out of you. If you like robot fighting games, this is one to get. This is the. I think this is number 3 of the Showdown, Samurai Showdown games. I think it's number 3. Fantastic games. I do enjoy weapon-based games, and this is one of the best. Number 4's better, but 3's good. Oh, and his number, yeah, that was number 3, and this is number 4, which is I don't know how to pronounce that. Amasakar's Revenge, or I don't know. Probably butchered that really bad. I do apologise, but yeah, another great fighting game. Probably my favourite on the Saturn, number 4. A lot more arcadey. This is a wonderful gift from Nate Retro One. I set up his Sega Saturn Saru for him, and yeah, he didn't have to. I would have done it absolutely free for him because he's such a great guy. Great channel. We'll leave his channel in the link description below. And yeah, this is Christmas Nights. Great game to play at Christmas time. What more can I say? Another repo from my good friend James at Retro Import Gamer, and that's Batman Forever Arcade. A strange one, that. Bit of a strange game, that is. Fun to just play it. Definitely wouldn't buy the original because it's bloody expensive. Now, I did have this as a repo game. Now, this is the Real McCoy. Another expensive game, but I got it for a very decent price, and that's GT24. I personally love this game. It's one of my favourite races on the Saturn. Is it as good as the arcade version? No. Is it cut down badly? Yep. And it's still a great racer. Coming to the end of the Japanese version games now. This is Capcom Generation 2 with what are they called? This is bad. This is bad form from me. Ghouls and Ghosts, that's it, and its sequel. Yeah, never been the biggest fan of these games. Really, really tough. I don't think I've ever got past the first level, but it's nice to have in the collection. Now I said this one earlier. This is the sequel, and this is the better game. This is really, really good, and that's Real Bout Special. Fantastic fighting game. Big box with the round cart. Round cart works great as well. Virtual Fighter Kids. Great little sort of charming fighting game with the big heads, which they can't even kick their opponents because their heads are so big. But yeah, a lot of fun. The original Virtual Fighter, great game. Do actually like the polygon sort of flat shelled shaded look, but I prefer the remix. If you've got a Sega Saturn, you need this game. This is the greatest Saturn game ever made. But Sega's greatest game ever made, personally. Well, with maybe with Sonic 1, but and that's Sega Rally. Just an unbelievable game. I can't praise this game enough. It's a bit like James with Outrun, you know, but Sega Rally is the game for me. Just such a wonderful racer. And the Saturn port is just almost perfect. Bit of a downgrade from the arcade, which you expect. I mean, that was a £20,000 arcade ball machine. This is a £300 console, well, £400 console. But Sega Model 3 guys, they did such, not Model 3, AM3. Mixing my words up quite a lot today. It's because this is the first time I've done one of these videos in ages. I've moved, house is still a bit of a mess. It's been difficult, but the bird room is coming. It is coming along nicely now, and I will do a tour of the room. But yeah, I can't praise this game enough. Just greatest game of all time, or one of. Definitely in my top 5 greatest games of all time. And this one is a close second. This is Virtual Fighter, so just amazing fighting game. You know, a lot more. It's not as arcadey as like the Tekken series. You need to know the move set to be able to beat it. It's just an incredible game. A lot of learning. I mean, you can pick it up and play, and you get so far, but you need to really learn the game. One of my favourite all times weapon-based game is Last Bronx. It's graphically beautiful. What they did with the 2D backgrounds and that made them look 3D. Just beautiful game. Again, AM3. They produce some great fighting games for the system. Golden Axe, the Japanese version. I've got the PAL version, which I will show in a bit. But yeah, underappreciated fighting game. I really like this fighting game. This is brilliant. You know, would it have been better to have Golden Axe 2, the sequel, the proper sequel? What's it called? I can't remember the name of it now. That's bad. But of course it would have been better. But you know, I think Sega did a good job with this. Two of the best shoot 'em up games on the Saturn. Not quite as good as House of Dead. That's my personal favourite, but Virtual Cop 1 and 2. I mean, number 2 is amazing game. Really, one's good. Two, what was great about one but made it even better. Graphically, just so close to the arcade. That just, Sega did such an amazing job of converting this game to the Saturn. And last but not least of the Japanese game is Winter Heat. Such a fun game. I prefer Athlete's King, which I'll show in a minute. But yeah, graphically beautiful game as well. Sega Saturn's high res mode. Voice is going now, sorry about that. But yeah, fantastic game. And that's it for the Japanese titles. Let's get the PAL versions out now. We are back this time with the PAL Saturn games. A couple of reproductions to get out of the way first. Alone in the Dark, Jack is Back. Terrible game. really bad. I really thought that was going to be another good Resident Evil type game, but yeah, it was just slow. I couldn't even get past the first bit trying to get into the mansion, and bloody pirate whatever they are, pirate zombies just kept on killing me, shooting me, bastards. Next up we have a reproduction of Burning Rages. Great game by Sonic Team. Yeah, really good. Really like this. Sort of a 3D version of the Firemen on the SNES. Really enjoyed that. And we got a small case of Virtual Cop 1. Again, fantastic shooting game, gun game, whatever you want to call it. My other favourite football game, soccer, if you're from the US. Sega Worldwide Soccer 98. Pretty brilliant game. Really good. This is the one I used for the England versus Belgium, was it? Or when they had to get through the is it quarterfinals or something, which they did well, but muffed it in the end, like we always do. Next up is Daytona USA. This is my very original copy of it, so yeah, means a lot. Dexter's being a pest again. Look, stop doing that. The cage door's open, come out. Sorry about that. He does love to be a pest when I'm trying to do a video. It's because I'm not paying attention to him, see. Again, my original version, Sega Rally, already said how much I love this game. Virtual 1 challenge, challenge, great game. Obviously I've got the Japanese version. Fighters Mega Mix, Virtual Fighters, Fighting Vipers, Sega Worldwide Soccer 97, still a good game, but I prefer 98. Just plays out a little bit quicker. Real game, but reproduction case, Nights into Dreams. Again, wonderful game. Great to play at Christmas time, even if it's not the Christmas version, it's the real game. It's just really nice. My missus is better than me at it. Again, real game, reproduction case, Last Bronx. Personally, my favourite Weapons 3D game. Resident Evil, the PAL version. It's Resident Evil, one of my favourite series of all time. Virtual Fighter 2, just an absolute classic in it, really is. Euros 96, England, not a very good football game, pretty bad. I mean, it's pretty beat up as well. I had this quite a long time, a bit of water damage to the case. I think I spilled a bit of Coke or something. But yeah, not a great game, so no real loss. Virtual Cop 2, one of the greatest games of all time, absolutely stunning. Wipeout, as Martin said, better on the PlayStation, but the Saturn is a great version. Scorcher now, this is a fantastic future apocalyptic racing game where you're in these sort of bikes with I think they're sort of hovercraft bikes with a force field around it. Yeah, it's very sort of grainy atmosphere. A lot of the music the missus really loved. She was the one who got me onto this game. Wait, will you pack that in? Wee boy. But yeah, Scorcher, great racer. Get a bit of hate this game, but I actually like it. It's in part of my original collection, hardcore 4x4. Yeah, just 4x4 trucks. It's not the best racer, but I really enjoy it, and I've completed it a few times. So yeah, I like the game. Destruction Derby, fantastic. I've got a lot of love and nostalgia. Yeah, part of my original collection. Probably is better on the PlayStation 1 version. I've got number 2, which is far and by the superior version. Number 2 is brilliant. But yeah, there's something about the Saturn version I really love. Perhaps it's the sprite smokes, sort of proper sort of transparent graphics that they use for when your car starts smoking. It's pretty fun. But yeah, I love this game. It's great. Again, another futuristic racer. When it first came out, you know, it was pretty decent, and that's Cyber Speedway. Yeah, I like this game. Yeah, it's graphically not that great now, but still plays well. Oh, I love this game. This is the closest you can get to Mario Kart on the Sega Saturn. This is the definitive way of playing Street Racer. Then probably the SNES version, which I've got. Then the PlayStation 1 version, and then the Mega Drive is not very good. It seems like a very different game to me on the Mega Drive, but it's the definitive version of Street Race. This is the best version. I think it's up to 8 players. I think, yeah, up to 8 players can play this. If you've got a multi-tap, wonderful game. Graphically beautiful as well. And the Rumble mode is hilarious. It's so frantic. It's brilliant. A lot of great fun. Me and my brother played on that. Mass Destruction actually plays better than the PlayStation version. Just great destructive game. Top down sort of 3D. You're a big tank and you just literally can destroy everything in your path. Great game. Voices going again. Starting to feel a bit crappy. I don't know if I'm caught saying, or just the move, all the packing, unpacking's just catched up with me. But I digress. Crime Wave, great isometric game. Really, really good. Yeah, recommend that. Show you about the I hate when they put stickers on, when you try and get the stickers off and you just take some of the case with you. Rayman. Beautiful 2D platformer. Oh, this is such a gorgeous game. Good platformer as well. Great 2D graphics. What Saturn was made for, wasn't it? Oh, my favourite snowboarding game. This is brilliant. Steep slope sliders. Is it steep? Yeah, steep slope sliders. Brilliant game. It's so much better than the tricks, and you can do some great tricks on this. Very easy to pull off. Arcadey. Quite a short game though. With I think there was only like four different tracks. So quite a short game, but really good. World Cup Golf. Got Missy picked up. I think this was £1. Missy picked up. Not a bad game. Probably not the best game, golf game on the Saturn. But yeah, it's golf in it, you know. I do like the sport titles. Now this is a great game. Marvel's Superheroes. This was the second in the Capcom Marvel line. They're a great fighting game. Just gorgeous as well. Next, Daytona USA Championship Circuit Edition. Graphically beautiful, such a massive upgrade to the original, but they changed the music, they changed the handling. It just felt like a different game. If you think of it as a completely different game, it's good fun, but yeah, just not patch on the original. Makes TT love this game. Such a very short again. Sega gave this to Tantalus Interactives, and they've done a great job of doing a conversion of the arcade. But yeah, just a very short game, but very playable. And I had some great races against my dad on this. He was really quite good at it. The definitive way to play Sonic, I think, other than the original Mega Drive, this was built. This is not emulation on the Sega Saturn. This was built up from the ground up, and that's Sonic Jam. And that special Sonic World stage just looks so beautiful. It's a shame that wasn't the Sonic game we deserved on the Sega Saturn. I think Sega would have sold a lot more Saturn consoles if they had an official Sonic game. But great way to play the original 4 titles. A newly acquired pickup will be in my huge pickup videos in a couple of weeks' time. I've got actually some stuff that I have actually picked up from Martin. There's an actual clue up there. I don't know if you can see that. Yeah, there's a clue of something's coming into the GameZone Birdroom, which I'm quite excited for. But again, I digress. Probably the best tennis game you can play on a Saturn. Breakpoint, still not great. I mean, Sega, you know, in the end produced the greatest tennis game of all time, Virtual Tennis. But yeah, it's not bad. Very blocky characters though. One of the best looking Saturn games of all time, Sonic Racer. A bit of a love-hate for the game. I've appreciated this game more as I've grown older, and yeah, back in the day when I got it, it's one of the last Saturn games my mum and dad bought me. So yeah, it's got a bit of love. There's definitely a bit of a love-hate relationship with this game. But yeah, I've grown to appreciate this game more and more as I've got older. And I'm getting quite good at it, I'm getting quite good at it, actually. So yeah, beautiful graphics, so really good. Again, another game, it's a bit of a love-hate. This was, again, the second to last game with Sonic Jam that my mum and dad brought me, and that's Sega Touring Car Championships. Another love-hate game, but again, I've appreciated this game more and more every time I play it now. I'm getting better. I'm getting better. I've not completed it yet, but I'm getting there. So it's about how you handle this car when you really understand it. It doesn't play anything like Sega Rally. I even think Martin said that in his video. It doesn't play like Sega Rally. You bit of a learning curve on this game to get the best out of it. My only US title Impact Racing. Very good. Great draw distance on this game. Bit of a different race to this one. Again, this is going to be in the pickup for this. This is another game I actually picked up recently. Yeah, because instead of racing, you know, with the track and the other cars, you've got to have a limit of how many cars you can destroy before progressing to the next one. So it's a bit of a new stance on racing game, but yeah, highly enjoyable. And that was 15 quid. It's getting quite pricey, the power version of that. Next up we have NBA. I do not know why they done these big case. Again, Martin mentioned it. Just makes it look so out of place, doesn't it, when you want them all lined up nicely. But yeah, EA just did like to create their own bloody cases and bloody cartridges. But NBA Live, it's NBA Jam game. It's not bad. Nowhere near as good as the NBA Jam. I love the NBA Jam series, but NBA Live 95 is not bad. Same as NHL. NHL 97 hockey. Plays very similar to the actual Mega Drive version, but 3D. Now, this is an underappreciated racer on the Saturn, Andretti Racing. You've got the Indy cars and the stock car racing. So, yeah, great racer. Graphically, not bad either. Like, draw distance is pretty good. Soviet Strike. This is a brilliant game. This really is. And again, this is a game that runs better than the PlayStation version. Really nice 3D. A bit like Mass Destruction. Runs as well as that. Good game. What more can you say? This is the best out of the two big consoles, Saturn and the PlayStation. This runs better. Probably still doesn't run quite as good as the 3DO, which was what it was originally designed for. But this is the next best version you can get after that on the Saturn. Road Rash. Love a bit of Road Rash. The original series is brilliant, especially 1 and 2. 3 was alright. Again, this will be in that massive pickup video. Another football game. I went when the football was it the European or World Cup? It was on just recently. Sort of picks up a few football games, very cheap. And this is 98 World League Soccer. Not bad. Prefer the other two. Every collection should have this. This is these three super scalers are they just run so beautiful. I mean, if you can pick up the Japanese versions, I would get them instead. But for the PAL, this is brilliant. Sega Ages, Afterburner 2, Space Harrier, and Outrun. They all run beautifully. All run as good as their arcade counterpart. Just every collection needs that. Three great games in one. Virtual Fighter, just great game. Golden Axe, the Duel. Very expensive now, that game. Just it's nice to have it in the collection though. In not bad nick either. Just beautiful game. Again, Virtual On. Great robot button mashing game. It's just a great fun game. Theme park. Who doesn't love theme park? Create your own theme park. Chucking people out the park. People puking up and just. It's a hilarious game. This and Theme Hospital, they're just so much fun to play. They are. This was a gift from John Bundy, absolutely star. Again, I'll leave his channel. All the channels I've mentioned will have links. Yeah, it gifted me Quake, beautiful version. Who would have thought Quake would have run on the Saturn back in the day? But yeah, they've done just a fantastic job. But what do you expect? It was who did it again? Fucking the ones that done Duke Nukem 3D. Lobotomy there. They really knew I had to get the best out of the Saturn. Great looking game. Marvel, Capcom's first Marvel game, X-Men Children of the Atom. Beautiful game. Plays just as good as the arcade. Great, another great fighter. Well, we're getting down to the last few Saturn games now. This is one of my all-time favourites. It's close as you could get to Streets of Rage on the Saturn, and that is Die Hard Arcade. Just such a great side-scrolled and beat 'em up in 3D. Just plays beautiful. Really, really good. And the graphics is pretty decent as well. Die Hard Arcade, this was a gift from my good friend Gibbs84. I really like this game. The PlayStation version's a lot better, especially with all the transparency in it. It's a bit of an ugly game, but I really, really like it. It's good fun. Again, another gift from Gibbs. Gift to me. Due to the fact that I did the Sega Saturn, and he wanted to say a big thank you. So Gibbs, always appreciate that, mate. You know, you never had to send me these, but yeah, Tomb Raider, great adventure, platforming, action game. Really great game. I really need to play more of this. I'm sort of stuck. The bear keeps killing me in one of the underground caves and that. But yeah, great fun game. A top-down shoot 'em up, loaded, really good game. Great two-player game as well. Plays better when it's two players. It's sort of like a can't remember the game now. It's on the Mega Drive. Chaos Engine, is it? Something like that. Plays very similar to that. But obviously with the 2.5D graphics. Another gift from John. Alien Trilogy. Great game. The atmosphere, everything. Not a bad looker for the day. It's quite an early game release. I think it was 95 when this was released, so quite early in the Saturn's life cycle. Not that it was that long, was it? Was it 94 to 98? Longer in Japan. It's 5 till 2000, I think. Time Warner's Virtual Racer. Not a patch on Sega's Virtual Racer, especially the 32X version, which is probably at that point was the definitive version. Although the Mega Drive version is still great. I still play that every now and then. But yeah, Sega didn't give the Time Warner I think the source code. So they literally had to create this from the ground up. But they did put loads of bonus cars in it, loads more tracks. I think it's about 10 or 12 tracks in it. So they did bulk it out, which was really good. But yeah, it doesn't control quite as well. But once you get used to the controls, it's a fun game. It is a great game. Oh, and last but not least is Athletic King. Athlete King. This game is beautiful. It plays great. I love my athletic games, like Olympic games and that, and this is no exception. This is one of the best to play. As I said, and graphically, it is fucking beautiful game. Really is. And that is it, guys. That is all my Sega Saturn games. There is still a few more I want to get. Obviously, I've got my Saru now, which pretty much has the games I want to play on it now anyway. But yeah, if you enjoyed the video, you know what to do. Button bash that like, subscribe, hit that little bell. Take it easy. GameZone.